We're on live now.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you in attendance. Thank you for coming to our commission meeting of May 14th. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:03. Invocation. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to do the invocation for us? Adrian, please stand. Move your head, please.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing the moisture. We hope that it rains to quench the earth. We thank you for letting us gather here today to do the people's work. Please grant the commission and all those around the wisdom to do what's right, and as well as the courage. We ask for your blessings on those people who have less than us and need your help. In Jesus' name we pray.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The flag of the state of Mexico is a symbol of perfect creation. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Avila,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair Secretary,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Duggins, Commissioner Gonzalez, and Chair Martinez.
Present, ma'am. We have a quorum. Next item is approval of agenda. Commissioners, have you had a chance to review the agenda? Is there any additions or any moves up? Or anything? There's a lot in the agenda, so. If no changes, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Motion by Commissioner Aguilar.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is approved as presented. Item 7, approval of minutes of April 22nd, a special meeting, and April 23rd, a regular meeting. You had a chance to review that, Commissioners.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Secretarial to approve. Second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Both minutes, the special meeting and the regular meeting are approved. Thank Mr. Amico for doing the first bit. Committee and department reports. I'm going to start off with the first one, the sheriff. He has a special thing.
Chairman, Commissioners, how are you doing?
Good.
So, not too much to report. Got some guys, a lot of training. We've been doing a lot of training lately. Just sent a few people to supervisor classes, supervisor training. We sent a couple more. We promoted our field training officers to corporals. It just makes sense, and that's kind of something that they do around the state now. Is if, the trainers are going to be corporals, just so that they do have some authority. It's not much of a pay raise at all. It's just a little bit more authority for them when they're on the streets. I just found out, Bernalillo County is starting their guys off now at $83,000 a year, which kind of took my breath away. And, Valencia County, our closest competitors, I guess you could say, are now gonna be putting their guys to $30 an hour starting, and after a year and a half, they're gonna be like 32 or 33. And that is absolutely something to me that when you hear it around the office, there's the buzz around the office, all these different agencies that are getting just humongous pay raises around the state. I mean, it just hear about it all over the state. It's happening. And I know this Score County doesn't have a lot of money, but to me, it's an emergency. I see it as an emergency because I think the safety and of our community is probably priority. I did have one of my really good deputies leave. Went to go work for my brother actually in Sandia for $37 an hour. And I couldn't even, there's nothing I could have done to save him. But he did say, if you can get us a raise to just in the mid-20s, I'll stay and see what you can do. I don't know. And without being able to give him the thumbs up, he took the job, and I don't blame him. You just can't blame him. He was an A-ride instructor, or he was certified in A-ride, certified in all kinds of things. He had a lot of knowledge. We're having a hard time pulling in good applicants. And when we do get people that are certified putting in, they all want $30 an hour, They're like, oh, how much do you expect? It's $30. Because that's getting to be a pretty common pay rate around the state for law enforcement. Not just the bigger agencies, but Valencia County, of course, they have a lot more gross receipts than us, and they are 3 times bigger. But they're losing guys to APD, state police, BCSO, Hobbs, places like that. So now they're bringing in all the other smaller agencies, and not to mention they're getting that amount of money, plus they're getting retention money that most of it is coming from the county, to where they are over a certain amount of years are getting like $1,000 a quarter, and it keeps building. At 20 years, every quarter they get $5,000, which comes out to $20,000 a year for the next 3 years. And that's not all from the state. A very small amount of that is from the state. Most of it is from the county. So on top of their huge pay raise they're getting retention money, $20,000. In my case, it would be. In Bob's case, in other people's case, it would be. But even if it's $10,000, $15,000 deputy, that's huge, humongous. That being said, when we do sit down with the county manager, when we talk about it, we did talk about getting rid of a position to add on top of whatever the county could add. The only thing I can think of to try and keep people. And it's set off a lot of flags for me, because if we lose some of our key people, all the progress over the last really 8-9 years is just going to go through the floor. We're going to lose a lot. And none of the guys are looking to get rich, but they're looking to be able to have a competitive wage at least. It doesn't have to be $30 an hour, but something that they can say, well, we're pretty close. I personally, and I know I've never really mentioned how much I'd like to go to, but I would really like to see the guys that have been around a few years at least $7 an hour, and the new guys somewhere around 24. Of course, it could just be a dream of mine, but that is really something that I would like to see, and work closely with the county manager and the commission to be able to pull from somewhere and really scrape and save, find somewhere, even if it means I have to lobby for money somewhere just to make up in other places, you know, but that's something that's been keeping me up at night every time I hear something, and it really, really is. I have some key people I cannot lose. But that being said, we do have a couple guys. One wasn't able to make it today, but we were able to get a new deputy here, a guy that I started at the sheriff's office with. He came from the PD to the sheriff's office, and we started the same day here at the sheriff's office in 2001, I think it was. And I've worked on and off with Bob and known him for years, and he decided he wanted to come to the sheriff's office because they had the best boss ever. I think that's what he said. I couldn't tell you exactly his words, but something like that. And he was probably talking about Amanda.
Oh, just kidding.
But Robert Ottagon, he's got 26 years on. I know he had a year or two before I came on. Total. He's a good guy to have working for us. And I was really excited when he called me and he said, "Hey, I heard you had some openings." And I said, "You're sure right, we do." I promised him you guys are going to pay him $30 an hour. I don't know. Don't make me a liar. No, I'm just playing. But we thought it would be a great idea. I believe the managers thought it would be a great idea, and we agreed that it would be nice to do it here so that the commissioners could be a part of it and have them sworn in. I think that's a good idea. We could start doing that here because it's good for you guys to see the new guys that we have here, not just introduce them, but start their career in the sheriff's office. So, that being said, I'd like to get started with swearing in with these guys. We've got the honorable member here to come and do it for us. So thank you guys.
Cheryl,
Yes.
I have two questions and a comment after we do the swearing in.
Absolutely.
You can get the microphone and my sister.
Okay, second stand right here, Mr. Aragon, and your sister can hold the Bible.
Oh, is that good? I don't know if that's good.
You're gonna raise your right hand. This on? Yeah. Okay, and repeat after me. I, Robert Aragon,
I, Robert Aragon,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of New Mexico,
of the state of New Mexico,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Deputy Sheriff
of the office of Deputy Sheriff
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
You want to say anything?
Sure. I'd just like to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity. It's been a long time coming for me. I worked here before and I really liked it. And I think I will do good. And I'll do the best I can for you guys.
Thank you. Sheriff, what is the starting pay for an officer who walks in the door?
$19.50 an hour.
Okay. If they have experience,
After they go to $20 and
So a cadet deputy 1 is $19.50. A deputy 2 goes up to $20.83, and that's after they graduate the academy, up to 3 years experience. And then after 3 years experience, it's depending on years, type of certifications they have. It can go anywhere from I believe 22 up. because we only go up to deputy 3. And then we start going into the sergeants, the corporals, our detectives, our captain, and stuff like that.
Our highest paid person is our captain right now, and I believe he makes
2465, I believe that's what he's at right now.
2465, and uncertified rookies at the city police, I think, are making more than him.
Okay. Currently, how many officers do you have on board?
Currently, we are at 12.
12.
12 with 15 available.
Yeah, and we have two uncertified that are fixing to go to the academy now in July, hopefully.
So you have a total of 14 staff.
Yeah, we have, well, if deputies, yes.
Yeah.
We have available 15 positions and 12, including myself, active.
Okay.
And so we're trying to hire 2 more, and then we'll get rid of a position if needed.
The other comment I wanted to share with you, I went to the board of directors meeting of the commission affiliate. And I guess you know that House Bill 236 passed. The governor signed it. It will become law in July. So those are called return to work people. So that's another way that you could hire people that are retired. They can come back to work, keep on drawing their retirement, and then whatever salary that we get. But it sunsets in 3 years. It's only good for 3 years. So somebody that comes back in 3 years, they have to, well, they don't have to get out, but they'll have to stop their retirement. So that might be some help. The other thing, at that meeting, every board of directors, they were happy that the state police got the raises that they got. But when this 60-day session comes, they're working on providing to take something to the governor that they need to fund the cities and the counties sheriff's department. Because all that is happening now, when you give those kind of raises, the state police, well, they're gonna go over there. It'd be hard to keep your staff full because of the amount of money they're gonna get. I don't know how much she's proposing for the next 60-day sessions. So it's something that I feel that the affiliates of all the county sheriffs need to get together and come up with a petition to go up there and say, we need help. We need help from you guys. We're losing officers pretty quick. It's so critical with all the drugs and everything that is going on. Law enforcement is so important. And I know the commission has tried every time we can, we give the raises that we can. And hopefully with the new budget, I don't know, Sammy's been working on it and I hope you've been working with her closely. Absolutely. I don't know what we can do. But I can tell you that the commission has always been very supportive because we know that 1,000% as well. You need good law enforcement. That's the comments I had to share with you.
I just got off the phone with the state police captain, and he has 6 state police officers in the Socorro area, which puts us at a position where we're taking all the crashes. Well, a good majority of the crashes in the interstate. We're taking the majority of the calls. We're taking, and they're trying to get more people here, but nobody wants to be in law enforcement anymore. Even at $40-some an hour starting for state police now, they're having a hard time getting people. Good quality people. People are always going to put in people that are going to be able to handle what happens on the street. For instance, we deal with a lot of things where kids are killed. Just had one night before that. It takes its toll on people. And again, you hear officers, especially young ones, saying, I don't know if I can do this. And so it's hard to keep them. It's hard to get good ones in. You know, I just think we've got to really do everything and anything we can to get and recruit good people. Another thing I was going to mention that I just remembered is we really need to think about starting to recruit people from Albuquerque and Las Lunas. That people, all right, you got to drive back and forth from Las Lunas because not a lot of people from Socorro are applying. We're getting mostly people from out of town applying. People from musky farms and stuff like that. That's something that I'd like to put on the agenda eventually and see if, I know we brought it down just to Belen. It's where we could recruit from. They could have take-home vehicles, but we're going to have to open up. It's going to have to be something that got to do something. So we've been 2-3 short for a while now. You know, it's hard to keep a good shift.
I don't know how the village of Magdalena was able to do it, but I understand they gave 2 of their officers, I forgot the amount.
$25,000 a piece.
Wow. I don't know where that money came from. But
That's another thing I'm going to bring to you guys. Magdalena, I get more complaints from people that live in Magdalena about the marshals not wanting to do anything. I'll bring it straight up in a meeting because I'm hearing it several times a week. And I wasn't going to say anything, but that's another thing that we really may want to talk to the people of Magdalena and see if they want more people to go in and do something with the marshals to either help them out or to the village of Magdalena wants the sheriff's office to go to the marshals office, absorb it, and get into some sort of a contract with the village of Magdalena.
But you guys do help them when they need.
Well, we help them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're gone and we help them. We after 10 o'clock, I think it is now. On some of the days they don't have call coverage. So I know they were trying to get people to work nights, but I don't think I think they're very short-handed. Anything else, Jack?
I don't.
Yes.
The next one is DWI office. Tina?
Good evening, Chair Martinez and commissioners. Just actually to speak to what the sheriff just presented, I'm going to read something to you. Cannabis in New Mexico, officially a $1 billion industry since March 5th, 2024, with $75 million in excise tax, okay? Special session. I was up at the Roundhouse for a whole week or 2 weeks ago. So part of this is part of that discussion. So my suggestion is ask. This is a huge milestone is what our governor says. This is a huge milestone for New Mexico's cannabis industry, says Governor Lujan Grisham. Nearly 2 years after beginning sales, New Mexico is on the map as a premier hub for so-called legal and safe cannabis and a thriving business community. Albuquerque remains the top city in the state for cannabis sales with more than $202 million in adult use products. And she says this, the excise tax, okay, is going into the general fund. So seems to me if it's cannabis use and there's some tax money to that, I don't know where the cannabis tax from Socorro goes, if it goes to the state fund, I don't know how that works. But it seems to me that law enforcement should benefit from some of that. And thank you. So anyway, I think, the sheriff is absolutely right. There's no way to compete unless we figure out where to get some of this money. And I can't imagine all the other law enforcement somehow haven't tapped into that, because where are they getting all the money? So it seems to me it's probably coming from the cannabis excise tax, or I don't know what, but yes, definitely. I will be part of the special session because it has to do with our RISE program. And we actually have a lot of people that are much higher in the RISE program from San Juan County coming down to visit our RISE program. They have 700 detainees and they're coming to our program to look at our program. So, and they have AOC connection, because the woman that runs the RISE program in San Juan County is the wife of the person at AOC that we deal with, which is the Administration of Courts in Santa Fe. So there's ways that we can figure out how to tap into what everybody else seems to be getting, so the sheriff's department can reach and at least be competitive. So I'll do the best I can to see where that money is coming from as well. So I'd like to present our good news. The good news is that we've received from DFA $458,000, and it's broken down into the 3 grants. The grant that's called a grant is $180,000. We received from the alcohol excise tax for Socorro County, and this is monies that is allocated per county based on the amount of alcohol that's sold. So Socorro County is receiving $127,639, and then our detox grant, which is for outpatient treatment, is $150,000, and then that equals the $458,000. And this money then gets used for our detox program, for the jail treatment program, for outreach, for the prevention program, and we work very closely with SCOPE, for law enforcement, helping the sheriff when we can, for overtime, outpatient treatment. We have 7 staff, 4 contractors. One of those contractors is a psychiatric nurse, so she's in the detention center supplying and assessing for mental health and behavioral health medications that might be needed. And we will need, one of the components has changed. We aren't sure if we're going to keep the pretrial client services. Currently, we have 218 pretrial clients in our office. That's just the pretrial. If we were to tally everybody, we're about 350 clients. It looks like AOC might be working with district court, and they may take over the pretrial as per counties. I think 7 counties already have the pretrial services through their district court. Our Chief Judge Murphy emailed me and asked me for the policy and procedures for our pretrial, so it looks like we may be getting close to receiving a grant to take that over. So we've been doing that pretty much out of the kindness of our heart, but we've been funding it. And so I got into a little hot water with DFA over that, but I worked that out. Sammy and I worked that out. So anyway, I stand for any questions. We've been very lucky with our grants. We still only score a medium rather than a high, so I have asked to look at other grants that score high to see how we can ensure sustainability, because during the special session, I'm sorry, I keep taking my glasses off and on. I have one new eye and one funky eye that was just operated on. So during the special session, we're funded through this coming fiscal year FY25 for the RISE program. but during the special session, BHSD, Human Services does not know if the funding will continue. So we've all the counties have had to send in exact statistics and, successes and challenges. So we'll see what happens with that. My goal is to ensure that no matter what, all the other organizations, now that everybody is Medicaid eligible, that even if we lose the RISE grant, I don't anticipate that, but if we lose it, but if the funding disappears, that the RISE program and Socorro County Community Alternatives Program will continue to be sustainable because we'll be receiving enough grant money to sustain everything without the RISE money. So that's my goal for this coming year, is to just see how we can score a high. So I'm working with other counties that have scored high to just find out what's their little secret, so we can ensure that that we continue to receive the funding. So I stand for questions. Thank you.
Questions, commissioners? No questions? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Road Department.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman. Well, we're just prepping up for the chip seals. Will be starting on the 29th of May.
29th of May.
Yes, sir. We've been cleaning out some cattle guards and putting some new timber. Some of them are up in the county, up in the eastern part in Bingham. And Ms. Cliff will be getting her inlets and her outlets tomorrow. So I thought I'd throw that in, so.
Good.
But everything else is going good. It's just too dry to be blading right now, and just waiting to see if we get some rain on Thursday. Everything's running fine. Got all the equipment running now. Getting prepped up to haul it up to the east. We're gonna start in the northern part and then work ourselves down south. If you have any questions.
Commissioner.
Chip seal,
29th.
29th of May, starting
Yes,
from the
sir.
north, coming this way.
Coming in the north, coming south.
Got enough help?
Yes,
Got enough help?
yes, we do.
Police staff. I just got a call from, not a call, but somebody at the post office asked me about Riley Road. Do you know when's the last time it was bladed? They say it's in horrible shape, so I don't know,
It's probably about a couple of months ago.
a couple of months ago.
I'll get on call manual tonight and see if he can hit that road. He's been in that area, so he can walk toward Riley. But every other road seems to be okay, so we're doing okay. Just gets a lot of washboard. We bladed, but after 2 days, the washboard comes back.
And 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3. I haven't even gotten any calls from them lately, so doing good. I think mine just did it not too long ago, so I think they're good with it. Usually I get calls.
when's the next meeting with the Forest Service to go over the contract? And
I haven't got any anything from the Forest Service on any meetings.
have we billed them for what we did last year already? How much money is?
I think Serena sent it over to them up in Albuquerque.
Okay.
I don't know if Sammy got it. I think she copied Sammy if she did.
She did.
I'll let her know tomorrow.
Chairman, Commissioners, I believe the latest payment came in at roughly 25,000. I think it was about 24, if I recall correctly, which is an increase from prior years and a slight decrease from the contract before that.
So we don't have no more money?
Completed the blading of the roads on that contract. So there's no, as far as I know, without checking in on it right now, as far as I know, we're done with that contract for the current year. then it would start again for the next year. Assuming it's, I'm not sure if it was a multi-year contract that was negotiated for a
Yes.
single year. So your 24 to 25,000 should maintain for about 3 years. If my memory serves me correctly, that's usually what they issue their contract.
If you don't mind, Arthur, maybe reach out to Tina
Okay.
and maybe meet to go over the contract, because that way, communication, that's their issue, that we need to communicate. That way we know we have money or what we don't.
Sure. I'll get a hold of her tomorrow. I'll give her a call. So we can set up a meeting. All right.
Thank you. Arthur.
Thank you.
Any other
Chairman
departments? Yes, ma'am.
If I may?
Yep.
So I just wanted to give an update that early voting has started in our office, at the county clerk's office. We are open from 8 to 5 for early voting with 1 day on Saturday, June the 1st, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Magdalena Senior Citizens Building, there will be early voting starting on Monday, May 20th, same hours, 8 to 5, with the Saturday on June the 1st from 10 to 6. I just wanted to do an update that early voting is going on.
Thank you. Any other department? Managers report.
Chairman, Commissioners, so for the last 2 weeks, I've been working on the bank reconciliation on our journal entries on our smaller loans and accounts in order to bring our financials in line for the third quarter. And then I submitted the financial report to DFA, and I'm working with our analyst to finalize it. We did undertake an office transition, so the manager's office moved from 210 Park Street and now resides at 198 Neal. The maintenance department, emergency managers, and the manager's office all assisted when needed in order to get the move accomplished without disruption to any of our spaces. I have been working on grant-funded project clearances so that our projects can move forward, and I'll touch base on all of those later in the grants presentation. I worked with Integrated Technology Group and CenturyLink to activate the fiber at the Solaro buildings so that we can eventually utilize them as county offices. I met with Ms. Janet Cliff regarding her property and potential flooding, and I'll be working with our engineers to determine what should and can be done before I begin coordinating with Ms. Cliff and Mr. Gray. We did apply for the summer internship program, but the legislature didn't allocate the funding request, so the granting agency is going to revise the budget, and they have a meeting on Thursday, which I'll be attending to figure out how much we will be allocated and what we can accomplish with what they give us. And then I received quotes from Mr. Marty Salas on Alamino Road, which was damaged by Rio Sol, so I'll be putting those to an invoice in the coming weeks so that the road department can repave the road whenever the project, the Rio Sol project is complete in that area. So they did patch the road, but it'll be redone completely because it was damaged pretty well. And that's it. Questions?
Commissioners? So thank you, Samantha. Item C, acknowledge May birthdays. Commissioner who wants to take that up.
I'll do that since. Okay. May birthdays, Arthur Gonzalez, Road Department, May 3rd. Craig, Secretarial Commissioner, May 17th. Bureau Detention Center, May 18th. Gilbert Padilla, the 3rd. Sheriff's Department, May 22nd. And Armijo Sheriff, May 26th. Sammy Vega, Manager's Office, May 28th. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you guys. Acknowledge Commissioner's report. Commissioner Aguilar.
I just want to congratulate the graduates, Socorro, Magdalena, Alamo, and Mexico Tech of 2024. We move on to bigger and better things.
Thank you.
This one. I would like to congratulate all the athletes and all the schools that participated in the state level in regards to baseball, golf, and then also track deal.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. On my report, like I said, I attended the Board of Directors meeting, the affiliate for all the commissioners per the 33 districts. I brought an extra copy of what we discussed, and there's a lot of information there. I'm gonna leave it with Sammy, and it tells who is Board of Director in each county by name and address. I also brought these books that were sent from the National Association of Counties. They're pretty nice. They're made for kids and encouraging people to run for offices. If you see it, you'll know it's pretty nice. And we can order some more books if we want some. I would encourage to order some. That way whoever wants some can pick one up. I'll give it to Sammy and she can have it in her office. I'm glad Ofina brought that up about where the money,
Excise tax.
yeah. It could be a good thing, but it's generating a lot of money, but it's also generating people getting on drugs. I've seen it myself. I went to Colorado a few years back, and there was this company that had big trucks. They were hauling material. And we took a tour, and I asked one of the guys that was a tour, and I said, how much those guys pay? I told him, driving those trucks, And he told me what they were getting paid. And I said, man, it's hard to get in. He said, anybody that has a CDL, has a good driving record, no drugs, you can get on right away. $80 an hour. It's when they legalized drugs in Colorado, that was the worst thing they did. Now you can't pass a drug test. You can't hire somebody like that, Even if it's legal, but for them to drive that, you can't. If you test, you're out of it. So it's generating a lot of money, but it's like the commissioner said, I think the commissioners, the sheriffs, the counties need to come together, set up a committee to approach the governor and the legislators. By approaching them, I feel you need to be prepared. You need to take something with you that you can prove to them that you need the money. Like the sheriff, by not having enough officers, what does it cost? The criminal rate, like in Albuquerque, it's outrageous. There's a lot of money there because it's a big city, but we need to try to get more money for that. Not only just for that, but for the detention centers, for mental health, a lot. If those numbers are correct, that they're generating that kind of money, the governor needs to know. So what are you doing with that money? We need the help to offset what's going on. I think that's my opinion. I know that the board of directors is going to get together for the 60-day session, not the special session, because there's no time for that, to try to set up a committee to approach them for more money. It's election year. I think you need to talk to the people that are running for office. What will you do if you get in it? Because it's needed more than ever. Today we went to the detention center to do the inspection. Most of those people are real young that are in there. I talked to two of them and I asked them how long they had. We're gonna get out next week. Kind of hurts you when you see young people like that. And you go, get out, do something with your lives. There's a lot better stuff to do out there than it breaks your heart when you see somebody like that. So we have a hard job to do as commissioners, managers, the sheriff department, all of us. We take a team in order to try to get to what is needed. The IPRA, that's another issue that's going on. All the counties, they're spending thousands of dollars to fight those. I know that that's a big issue that's gonna come up. The Associated Counties are already working on it to try to come with some kind of resolution so the state offsets that cost for all the requests. People will come in and say, well, I need this, I need that. Yeah, they just have to pay for copies of what they get, but they're not paying the salary of those people that it might take a week to research all of it. And it takes a long time. Every county is suffering that, the HIPAA rules. That's another thing that needs to be worked on to try to help offset that cost.
Drafted legislation and presented it to that committee for them to review and hopefully put around for it. Or at least have the, we don't want to restrict public records. We just want to make sure that it's paid for.
Yes.
And hopefully by the state. They've got all the money in the world.
Especially with all that marijuana.
Right.
And then on the property taxes, there was some changes. The veterans, you can prove you're a veteran or you're currently a veteran, you're gonna get a $10,000 exemption starting in July, I guess. And the insurance authority will be asking for money from the counties because their insurance went up. You'll be getting a bill. They broke it down. It's in that book by county. Ours wasn't that much. I looked at it, so. But we'll see. Oh, and another big one was the public education. That's a big deal now. They're approaching the governor. They sued the state. Some of the school districts don't want to go to 5 day, they want to go to 4. So I don't know where that is going. They spent 10.2 billion. They budgeted 10.2 billion for public education. So we'll see where that goes. And that's about it that I have. Thank you. The next one is public comment. Do we have any public comment?
No.
Okay. Item 10. A, consideration of proclamation proclaiming May as Motorcycle Awareness Month.
Chairman, Commissioners, at this time, I don't know if you want to table this item. The individual that would like to present did not show up to this meeting, but we can try to reschedule him for the next one.
Okay. We'll table that one. Item B, consideration of agreement for Aging and Long-Term Services Department for intergovernmental agreement 25-624-4000-226.
Chairman, Commissioners, what you have before you is the grant agreement to continue running the foster grandparent program and the senior companion program through the county. That's the program that Ms. Linda Anaya runs for us. This is dedicating $57,062 to foster grandparent program and $55,620 for the senior companion program. Any questions?
I don't. Do you guys have any?
No.
I just thank you for letting her transfer back to the city.
Yes, sir. Chairman, Commissioners, we're very excited that she gets, it's good for her program and it's good for their, it's like a symbiotic relationship. So we're glad she's back there.
And the mayor of the city approved it, so.
Yes,
that was
sir.
good.
He was very accommodating for us.
Yes. I need a motion to approve the agreement between the Aging Long-Term Services Department and Intergovernmental Agency.
So
Motion by Commissioner Aguilar,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agreement is approved. Item C, consideration of property donation by Sandra Click.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, these are both items. C and D are property donations pursuant to our standard program, and they have been reviewed by the assessor and administration and recommend approval. And you can do them both at once or individually as you choose.
You heard the recommendation of the attorney. Motion to approve both C and D.
I'll make a motion to approve for the property donation. 10, action item C, and then also D as well.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Secretarial,
Second.
second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We accept the property donation of C and D. Commissioner Duggins is not here. I'm recommending that we table E, F, and G. I don't know. Yeah. If it's all right with you, we'll table those three. Nobody's here.
For next meeting?
We'll table until next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Please try to get a hold of him, Jennifer, and tell him that they were tabled and. for the next meeting. Item H. Review and direction.
Can I have a motion for that, please?
Sorry, thank you. Need a motion to table item E, F, and G.
So
Motion by Commissioner Secretarial,
Second.
second by Commissioner Aguilar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Any opposed? They are tabled till the next meeting. Item H. Review direction to staff, San Antonio Park update. I asked for this one, Sammy, just to kind of feel where we are, because the fence that they put around it looks nice. I know we had thought of putting trees and shrubs and other stuff. What is the status of all that?
Chairman, Commissioners, so for San Antonio Park, the trees have all been planted, everything's done. I think they're looking at grass right now, so we're gonna have to look for more funding in order to accommodate grass and any shrubs that they were looking at. But the trees are done and everything that was put in place to be completed has been.
How much money for the grass and the shrub do you?
I don't have an estimate from them yet. I know we are looking at Clean and Beautiful for some of the work. I think we did sidewalks and receptacles for that one at San Antonio Park in the courthouse. And we're looking for other grant funded sources in order to finance this.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, the watering, you're on timers, right?
I'm not, but yes, they would have to be. They're on timers because we only have the one parks employee. So I believe he put all of those on timers.
Can you check to make sure that way we know for sure, because I don't want everything to die again and that water.
It looks nice right now.
Yeah, it does.
Really nice.
And once you get that estimate, how much it's gonna cost, send it to me, please, and that way maybe I can help get that money.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next item is item I, review and direction of staff Cobb County road signs update. Art left, there's still quite a few signs that we had ordered out of the money that I had. And I go pretty often, they're still not there. And some that they put, that no passing zone and do not pass. The no passing zone is put up, but the do not pass are not put up. And you need both of those to be legal. With the commission's approval, I'd like to request Art to go up there and, I'll go with him and document. We can actually see him take a picture, and that way he'll have and see what the list is that we need to. I know we had separated 35,000 for that.
I do have him going out to Hot Canyon tomorrow to address Mrs. Cliff's end section.
Okay,
So if you have availability tomorrow, he'll be in the area. If you don't, I'll just ask him for an update and then have him scheduled.
okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Yes, sir.
The other one is item J, direction to staff, Pearson Drive curve update. I had sent Mike a picture. When you go on that road, that curve is real sharp, and the property, they brought it up to the road. According to Art, they're encroaching a right of way there, and he wanted to remove the fence and cut it. But I told him that there should be a letter sent to the landowner telling him and ask him to remove it so we could cut it if it is encroaching. He said it was, because I think he checked with, what's her name?
Elaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said they send them a letter, the landowner. I don't know if they did, Serena and him.
Okay.
Can you find out?
I sure will.
That way we can cut that, and make it safer. He did put a curb sign there. But it's too, at night you can't see it until it's too close.
And is this in San Antonio or Mike?
No, that's in Magdalene. I'll send you a picture of it so you have it. It should be in Mike's email.
Okay.
But if it's not, I'll send you a picture. It'd be safer that way.
Okay, I only have access to Sid's his retirement email, so if you wouldn't mind sending it.
I'll send you. Item K, review and direction to staff vector control. I asked Sammy to put this on the agenda, commissioners, because I don't know if you remember last year and the year before that, we had such a horrible mosquito in San Antonio. And we contracted with the city of Socorro, but their equipment was broken and they couldn't get as often as was needed. I know Mike had asked one of our department employees if he'd be willing to go and get their license. I don't know where that's at.
Chairman, Commissioners, so staff is certified for vector control. We currently don't have the equipment to complete vector control, so that's the next. It's kind of been tabled for upcoming manager on our end, just because of the resources required to do it. The certification is there now. We just have to look into the resources to apply this spring. And then it can only be applied early morning, late evenings. So overtime to apply it. So we're looking into all those different necessities in order to get vector control up and running, but we are working on it and the certification is there.
Okay, if I may, will it take a while to get the equipment and stuff to do that? And considering the pay, considering all of that, would it be cheaper to bid that out to a contractor to do it for us?
It might be. I'm not positive because from the perspective of our department head, we need a vehicle designated to it, the tank to apply the spray, purchase the actual spray and the protective gear to apply it. And without having those numbers in front of me, I can't say whether or not it would be more. I think it would be less to do it ourselves in the long run, but easier to accommodate the contractor in the short term.
Okay, the only reason I bring it up, commissioners, is when you get that license, you go to the training. It's not just the training, it's managing the chemical, managing the forms that you send to the State Department of how to do it correctly. If you overspray an area or something happens, that's why you need those forms to be able to cover yourself. Because if something happens, the guy that's spraying is, well, the guy and whoever hired him is liable. If you get a contractor, then all the liability goes on the contractor. So maybe we can talk about it and see. Yeah. Because last year we were getting calls that if we're not ready and the city can't help us, I don't know, we might have to consider bidding it out.
Do you want me to start accumulating the cost for us to run the program and then
Yes.
the cost?
If you don't mind.
I do not mind.
Thank you. Item L, review and direction to staff disposition of culverts and tires from the 3 tanks road project. That's Commissioner Secretary.
In terms of, as you guys know, the Alamo Street culvert project several years ago, about 4 years ago, that was built. And that same year that was built, it pretty much wiped everything out. So we've been, so there's been no culvert the past 3 years. Now, part of that is a lot of erosion control, apparently, bundles of tires. And there's 2 things. One is the culverts. So the culverts have drifted. Every time it rained, it's drifting down towards the rail Salado. Now it is almost at a point at barricading a couple houses down in that area, to the point where it's causing safety hazards. So, but I met with school board and Mr. Chris Pius. They're willing to take that, the culvert pieces. They're willing to refurbish them, use them, whatever way they. So that's the first one. Number 2 would be the bundles of tires. I think there's close to. There used to be close to 20 bundles. Square, I think they're pretty big bundles, and several of them had busted, and of course over the years with the rain, they're starting to float down their royals, and like I said, they've been down to the Rio Salado. So I hate for it to make it down to the Rio Grande. And my direction would like to be to sign over the culverts, and then also is to go and pick up the bundles of tire. So that was not only me, but attended several chapter meetings, and I'm always on the hot seat. So, but that would be my request.
Chairman, commissioners, if you don't mind my asking, are you wanting all of the bales removed, or are you wanting the busted bales removed?
Just pretty much. Well, the bale ones are just sitting there. They're not even used for erosion or anything like that. It's just a big old pile there.
Okay.
I know I was supposed to go out this past weekend to go take some pictures, but I just got, being at Mother's Day, I just didn't get around to it. So I will try my best to get pictures of that.
Okay, if you don't mind my asking, because I will have someone in the area tomorrow, I believe. I could have them go and take pictures.
Okay. I can. Majority of the tires are. Who's going to be in the area?
It's going to be someone with New Mexico Rural Water.
Okay. Let's see. I can pretty much draw you a map in terms of where those bales are.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if we're going to transfer the culverts to the chapter, we'll have to do the property disposition resolution, and that'll come before this board. We can donate them, but we still have to account for them.
Yeah.
That'll be in the next meeting, correct?
If it can be done in that time, if not, it'll be on the one after.
Thank you. Question on that. Where's the funding for, we're still waiting for the clearances from the tribe to be able to do the work?
Chairman, Commissioner, so I will have an update for you in my grants presentation in a couple of minutes, and I'll touch on it,
Thank you.
just so I'm not redundant.
Okay, item F, direction to staff to establish and advertise for the position of deputy manager.
Chairman, Commissioners, I'll kind of just bear with me for 1 second. Okay. Chairman, Commissioners, I presented this at the previous 2 meetings, but I'll just touch base on the highlights. So I was looking into the deputy county manager positions with other counties. So I looked into populations, and the deputy county manager position was specific to large populated areas, and it's not. In my research, I noticed that counties that have a deputy manager position range from all varieties of population. It's not specific to Bernalillo County with a 672,000 population. It reaches all the way down to San Miguel with 8,003 population. I also looked into sizes. So Valencia and Bernalillo are two of the smallest, which have the largest populations and also have a deputy county manager, and then Socorro is the largest county at 6,647 square miles. And then I just combined them to show where we fall as the largest county with the smaller population. I wanted to acknowledge that we work with all of our other entities in the area: Game and Fish, the Bosque Forestry, BLM, State Police, City of Socorro, Village of Magdalena, NMSU, District Court, Magistrate Court, PED, Socorro Consolidated, New Mexico Tech, MRGCD, ANSB, etc. As well as the fact that administratively in 2024, we're managing roughly 29 million in revenues and 26 million in expenses. Whereas our first year we were 13.3 million in revenues and 12.8 in expenses. Our budget almost double what it was 6 years ago, but with the same staff. The state of New Mexico also implemented LGBMS, whereas previous finance directors did bottom line reporting, not detailed reporting like we do today. And in 2024, we administered roughly 12 million in grant funding, whereas my first year in 2019, we administered 1.1 million with the same staffing. And then turnover is important to touch on because it has been an issue. We experienced turnover of our finance director in 2019, our manager in 2020, our grants in 2021, our payroll in 2022, and our manager again in 2023. To the point that turnover has depleted our staff experience and left the majority to any administration that's been on board prior to 2019 when it began to turn over. So with all that, I strongly believe that Socorro County is in great need of a deputy county managers to support our department heads, relieve current administrative staff, implement systems to ease the burden of our day-to-day operations, and increase the overall effectiveness of our county.
Well, I think we asked how much that would cost us, and you were gonna give us some figures on it.
So at present, you're with me while I pull up my. So at present, your county manager is that per the pay plan that you put in place at 127,000 at the top and 107,000 at the bottom. So what I'm looking for in this position is 85% of the low and the top end. So 85% of 107,000 and 85% of 127,000.
How much would that be?
So with the 107,000, you're looking at 90,950 on the top, or 90,950. And then for the 127, you're looking at 107,900
At the high.
at the high. And that position would not move with your county manager. It would remain at the 90 to
107.
90 to 107. It would not move as your manager moves.
So for the two top positions, if we hire a manager at 127,000 and we hire a deputy manager for 107, that'd be 234,000 a year. First year. That's not counting. Well, big question, can we afford that? On top of everything, all our other needs?
Chairman, Commissioners, I can see that. So as far as your general fund goes, you've been in the black every year since I've been on staff, and your budget's going in a forward direction to the point where we have the opportunity to review the sheriff's requests. We have the opportunity to review this request. We've had the opportunity to afford the assessor's department construction to improve their office space so that they can utilize it better for their needs. We've had several opportunities with the revenues that we're bringing in and with our general fund GRT increasing. With our economy at present, I don't see a problem supporting the role into the future. Of course, I can't speak for the future and that everything will maintain, but with our historical figures for the past 6 years, at least, I don't see a problem maintaining it, and it can be built into the budget.
Well, I don't know. Three of us here today.
I know Joe's position, but Joe's. I think, you know, I know in the earlier stages, I was kind of skeptical in terms of seeing the figures. Most importantly, sustaining it. Okay, but
Chair Martinez, am I allowed to speak
I don't see
or
why
to
not.
ask questions?
I don't see why not. Adrian?
It's up to you, Mr. Chairman. That's your call.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So my thoughts are and my questions are, I know in the previous meetings, it was brought up about employees getting a cost of living. So would that still be on the agenda for employees to be getting a cost of living? So I know at the last meeting it was said it would be from 3% to 5% if it was sustainable for the commission to either vote on the 3% or 5%. My other question is, we just had the sheriff asking for raises for his deputies. And I'm just asking. I also brought up in another meeting about elected officials getting raises And that would have to go through before December if you decided to. So elected officials right now in Socorro County are not at the level of our high B. We're still not at the level of what the governor has rated, and I'm sorry, I don't have those amounts. But for our county, we're still not meeting what the governor has elected to set the rates for elected officials, is what I'm saying. So yes, we have gotten raises and even my employees are very thankful. But if this is sustainable to pay out $107,000 a year to the chief deputy manager, are we able to sustain everything else that we've talked about or what we've asked for our employees, for the sheriff's department, for our elected officials, is my question.
Chairman, Commissioners. So that said, I am working really closely with the Sheriff's Department to determine where we can pull that funding from, and it'll be built into your budget that you approve. We're working at not eliminating a position because we don't need less deputies. We need at least what we have on staff. So we're working with the funding we have available now, working on increasing the revenues that we're pulling in. So the Sheriff's Department is aware of that, and we're working together to get past that. The question about the COLA, that maintains, so we'll maintain the COLA as it's put in place in your pay plan, and that will be under review every year for the foreseeable future. And at that time, you'll determine those costs. As far as addressing every position that requires an increase, I can't really do that when we're looking at this. This is kind of just specific to our need now. We don't have an administrator, we have one administrator. One, and even when we have another administrator on staff, the burden of our office is too great for one person to sustain it long period, and our staff is too new to tend to the one administrator that we have in place. So the purpose of inputting this new administrator would just be so that we're not giving up our experience, we're not giving up the expectation that the county's put in place, and that we're not removing our accessibility essentially when we lose a manager. So we do want to have someone in place that can answer without having to move our staff to where items fall through. So I can't speak to whether or not the elected official raises will be, I don't see a problem with them with our projected revenues, but I can't give you like a specific yes, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I know when I brought it up, Attorney Nance did say like, yes, we could bring it up, but then it would be up to the commissioners. And then of course the recommendation of the county manager on whether it could be sustainable or not for the elected officials. So the elected officials who took office 2 years ago got their raise. So the elected officials who are currently in office, which I'm completing my 8th year this year, and my chief deputy, we did not get raises. We will get the raises that the other elected officials did once the officers take their offices in January, but it would be very beneficial, again, for us to do our job, to have a raise coming in as a new elected official, a newly elected official, or the ones who are running again and are elected, they will also get that raise. So those are just my thoughts and those are just my questions. Thank you.
This was also brought up at the Associated Counties and the Board of Directors. There's some counties that pay their elected officials pretty good. They gave them the raises when they could. But
And they're
there's-
at the max
Yes,
of where the governor has set that amount for
Right.
elected officials.
but there's a difference in those counties. When you talk about Bernalillo, they generate a lot of money. They have the budget to be able to fund it. Us in Socorro County, we don't have that kind of fluctuates every year. We don't have that kind of stuff. I do know that the past managers that we had before, and the financial director, Don't know the total reason they left, but I can guarantee you it was probably for more money. You know, I talked to the commissioners in other counties. It's a very stressful job, very hard job. And well, it's like the cops now. They're gonna go where the money is. You know, a manager, they just recently hired a manager in Lincoln. I don't know who it was. The chair of that commission was running the county. And he could hardly wait till he could get somebody.
Really?
Yeah. And he could hardly wait to get somebody. And they were paying pretty good. We're gonna hire a new manager. We have the salary there. Does that mean that whoever it is gonna accept it? You know, they're coming into a position and say, well, no, it's not enough. I don't know, that's just me thinking.
And I would just want to reiterate too, and they passed administration. Socorro County was at a level B. With the assessments that the assessor has been bringing in and the assessment of the dollar amount that Socorro County has been bringing in on property taxes has allowed and granted our last administration as a county manager, instead of us being under the assessment and all the work that the so I mean, and that more income because of the assessed values of property.
And the other thing, that salary study that was done before I was a commissioner, it's we still have it there. The starting, the midpoint, and the final. When we were able to bring everybody to the minimum. Do you remember that? We brought everybody to the minimum. Well, the expectation of the employees in the field, especially the ones that have a lot of years, when are we gonna get to the midpoint? You know.
So that's why I was asking, is that cost of living, if it's even though it's a cost of living, with that minimum raise for our employees, is that gonna bring some of our employees up to the midpoint range on the factor that was presented to you? That's in place currently.
Chairman, Commissioner, if you don't mind,
No, go ahead.
so that would just reset your minimum to whatever the COLA is bringing it up to, because we're adjusting it because of the cost of living, so it would just bring your minimum salary, plus that percentage that we're increasing. So it wouldn't change up to bring them to midpoint, it would essentially increase your minimum.
Increase their hourly rate depending on if the commissioners approve the 3% up to the 5%.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I mean, if not that my 2 cents is warranted, but certainly I'm not a budget person. But that said, I think it is important. A position like this is important for the continuity of administration, especially considering turnaround, and the burden has been such that our manager's office is overwhelmed, and it does require more staffing when you get to be the size that we're getting to be and the amount of stuff that we're doing. So we've just implemented this in Valencia County, and other counties are also that aren't doing it are looking at it as well. It does have to be budgeted, and I leave that to Sammy, but the need for the position is there.
I see both sides of the spectrum. I see her side, I see her side, I see the sheriff's side, and I'm all for it. If we can, I know it's not all about making everybody happy, but I would try to want to make as many people, as far as law enforcement, these losing people, like you said, left and right. I would like to try to get those guys somewhat of a raise if possible, to keep our guys here in our community. The cost of living, I don't see anything wrong with that, and I know the manager's job is just extreme, and you're having a tough time,
Well, it's even the detention center, we heard it today.
Yeah.
They can't keep enough workers.
I think that all the boats need to be raised. I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, we're in that market. You know, nothing is stagnant. Everything's getting harder. So yes, I mean, I'm not gonna say hire this position, so, you know, and then don't pay my brother more when he needs it. It goes for a raise.
Yeah.
But no, but I do think it needs all to, you know, I think it all needs to be worked at, and I know they're working on that pretty hard as far as a generalized plan.
Yeah, general funds, if necessary, bringing more money in as they are on taxes, you know, and, you know, we need to really look down in deep and see where we can try to make this work for everybody.
And Chairman, Commissioner, just to speak to all of your departments, the assessor's office is a big deal, but your detention center has lessened their subsidy in the last, I think, 4 years by about $200,000. So that's less we're subsidizing their program. Your RISE program, or not RISE, the Community Alternatives Program used to be subsidized. It hasn't been subsidized since Selena took over. So you have all your programs working together to try to make sure that we're bringing in more revenue and we're trying to make all these numbers work. The Sheriff's Department does come in and work closely with me on their budget when they are looking for stuff like that. So all of your departments are working to the betterment of your county, and we're just trying to work with them.
If I may also include, thank you, Sammy, for always working with me on our budget too.
Yes.
So I don't know if the commission is aware, yes, we have our budget for our election programs. We are and have been the past year with Secretary of State's office where we do an MOU. So the money that I asked our finance director for to run elections, it's there so that I can utilize to run elections. So I have two budgets. I have a budget for the clerk's office, then I have a budget for my Bureau of Elections Administrator and elections. So that money is utilized to run elections, but an FYI, when we go into an agreement, into an MOU with the Secretary of State's office, we are getting refunded for what I'm using for elections. Sometimes it can be up to over $100,000. So I have the money in our budget to run. And when the election's over, I submit my expenditures to the Secretary of State's office, and I do get a refund for the elections and the money that I utilized. So in essence, the county's giving me money to run the elections, but the Secretary of State is reimbursing me. So that money that they're reimbursing is kind of like a savings to the county. Did I say that correctly?
Good, yeah, and that is the case for several of our departments. So they're all working. We're an entity, not individual entities, and we're all working towards the greater good of our county.
The road department hit us up for 4 trucks the last meeting
14
or something, you know, so every department is hurting.
I know I went round and round the past couple of meetings in regards to this topic, and I think in maybe a year or 2 years down the road, we will make that money back in regards to hiring a chief deputy, only because 2 individuals, I think we have a stronger forefront in terms of, you know, I would like to hear a lot more, oh yeah, hey, we're going after this grant, we got this grant, you know, bringing in a lot more money. So if I think from that perspective, and which in return, and I believe that we can still swing in regards to the cost of living and also the sheriff department. But overall, I think in due time, I mean, we will make our money back and beyond. Is what is what I'm thinking, because the way I think about it is, like I said, more grants coming in. We'll have two individuals taking care of that instead of just one. I know like our last manager was spread very thin. So he didn't really go after any type of like big major grants or anything like that. But in terms of on that line more.
We did we request that grant writer from the South Central to help us? Is she on board with us or?
Chairman, Commissioners, so Ms. Gwen Valentino is our grant writer through the COG. We only have so many so many hours available with her. I think there's like 3 or 4 a week. So we're looking at grants in order to secure her for more hours as the city did. Oh, I don't have the staff to write the grants at the moment. So our grant writing staff is secluded to your administrator right now, and we did write for the PED grant, so we're choosing to support our current projects instead of reaching out for new ones right now. So that is on the table in the future. It's just not something we can support right now with our staff.
And the budget now for all the departments, when is that going to be done?
I am hoping to have it to you by your next meeting, so it should be on next agenda.
And that will include COLA increases?
Yes, sir, as well as the sheriff's proposal.
For increases for?
Increases to his salary. So they gave me 3 options. I'm gonna plug in the option I think is most reasonable and best for the county. And then I will also present you the other options for you.
Okay, and for elected officials, will that be on there?
That won't be on this budget, but it could be in your future budget, or it can be done as a bar. So you can issue this budget, and then upon looking at the salaries later in the year, we do a bar to increase those elected official salaries when we increase, or when we realize that revenue, if that makes sense.
I think it goes up to like, what do we figure for elected officials? Like, well, I know commissioners, we went over the figures. I think it was like $2,500 a year that was bumped up, right? Yeah.
If I may, this is my recommendation, and I said it the last time. This is an important decision that'll be in effect from now on. I would like to see the other 2 commissioners here. We're a commission. That should be voted by the 5 commissioners. I would like to table this till the next meeting when we see the upcoming budget for all the departments and how we're gonna fund that. To include, if we hire a deputy manager, where is that gonna fit? So we have a budget that we know how much it's gonna cost us from now on. That would be my recommendation. So if you guys want to go the other way, need a motion to advertise, or I need a motion to what I recommended to the next meeting to see the budget.
So we're gonna have the other 2 commissioners here.
Yeah. And we make sure that they're here.
Can all,
Yeah, because this is a big decision. Because if we hire a new manager, I'd hate to hear that the manager, well, I could do it if you pay me a little bit more, I can do both jobs, I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm not against it. I just want to make sure we'll be able to pay and be able to give all the employees, all the departments what they need,
I think we're gonna have the other 2 commissioners here.
That would be great, but in terms of, so what happens if, I know Joe's gonna be here next meeting. I know Joe's gonna be here next meeting. I wonder what Glenn's status is.
You don't want to see the budget, what it's going to be for every department. It's going to include what the sheriff asked for. It should include what the road department asked for. should include raises for everybody, what our total budget's gonna be.
Oh, well, we're not getting rangers for them.
No,
They're like, we want 4 rangers now. Yeah, we can, most definitely take a look at the budget.
so you wanna, your motion is to table till the next meeting until we see the budget prepared by Sammy for all the departments. And that way we can make a decision.
Yeah, and they can see the budget as well.
Okay,
Okay, and then if we do get into the same situation again next meeting, can we proceed with that?
Going through with,
Yeah,
to advertise.
no, yeah, the 2 gentlemen.
Well,
Would you be okay with that?
well, if we review it and there's a motion to advertise, as long as there's 3 commissioners that go over it, that's what will happen.
Fair enough. That's fair. That's fair to these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need a motion to table till the next meeting until we review the upcoming budget for next year.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Aguilar,
Not second.
second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further discussion before we move on? All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it is tabled till the next meeting. Item 8, presentation for grant review by county manager, interim county manager.
I'm gonna pass these out for your eyesight, so you don't have to look so far.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you.
You're ready.
You want me to put this in our packet yeah, when we scan?
Chairman, Commissioners, I just wanted to give you a grants update so you kind of know where our projects are at. So I'll just go over our active grants. One second to find my mouse. Okay, so we'll start with Escondida Lake. These are currently the appropriations that we have dedicated to Escondida Lake. There's 2 quality of life grants. A New Mexico Environment Department Trails Plus grant. And then we recently requested about $725,000 as a legislative appropriation that I just answered questionnaires on last week. So you should have an agreement before you in the coming months. As far as the lake goes, the architectural firm is working to evaluate and gauge the size and the cost of the electricity and water utility improvements to the existing sites. And that's for the RV park, the wells, everything in there. Upon completion of the review, the architect will meet with Socorro County to discuss budgetary impact with the upgrades that they proposed. At present, the contract is still in its design phase, but once design is finalized, the architect will issue a project manual that will then be used for construction. Socorro County has requested an updated Gantt chart to review the current operating timeline. I think they're anticipating being further along, but with how aged our utilities are, it's been very difficult for them to find output on it. Socorro County did spend a clean and beautiful grant of $6,500 to paint damaged structures, as well as place trash bins around the park to reduce litter. So that's where that project's at today. Next is our courthouse improvement. These are the grants that we're currently working on. This does not include the energy efficiency funding of, I believe, $3 million that we just finished a year out. So we have a cost overruns grant of $450,000, 3 legislative appropriations, 1 for $510,000 and 2 for $100,000. We have an agreement with the AOC for $710,000, and then we received a questionnaire for appropriation from your prior year ICIP plan of $200,000, which puts the total budget for these improvements at $2,070,000. With that, Socorro County has contracted with Formative Architecture and Longhorn Construction. You guys signed these agreements. Longhorn Construction is already on the ground, and their subcontractor has restored all of the windows marked for restoration, and they have moved on to replacement. A window replacement will be mocked up within the next couple of weeks, and then the replacement will be overall replacement will be scheduled at that time. Socorro County then met with the architect and the contractor to begin review of the replacement of the existing elevator. The review is pending a complete submittal from the contractor to the architect. But as of right now, the project is currently on time for completion in November 2024. So Alamo Culverts and Three Tanks Road, we have two appropriations. One of them is a $500,000 legislative appropriation. Those are the ones we're looking for clearances on, as well as the TPF award that is also needing the clearance. So with those right now, we've issued a task order to Dennis Engineering. Dennis Engineering has completed its preliminary review and is waiting upon Socorro County to clear the project through the Navajo Nation. The EC wrote up a letter of clearance that they provided to me, and I can hand deliver that to Alamo for signature, and I'm working with the contact from ANSB to facilitate that approval through Navajo Nation. Should that avenue not work, I'll draw that contact and then I'll work through them to contact the main offices, I believe, in Arizona. Then we have San Antonio drainage that was done through Colonius grants. The first grant, 5546, has been done to completion and reimbursed to completion as of last week. And then CIF 5792 is phase 2, which we've started on. Phase 1 is complete with some clearance and licensing issues with MRGCD. Socorro County met with MRGCD on May 9th, and we discussed the outstanding permits required to access their drainage ditch for the project. We'll begin the permitting process through the New Mexico Environment Department with the assistance of MRGCD's Eric Zamora. Phase 2 has begun. Socorro County contracted with Sierra Valley Contractors. And we met with property owners, Carol Might and Luciano Lucero, to negotiate temporary easement for the project area, which was signed today. And it will be issued to the engineering contractor as early as tomorrow. Sholey Bridge is independent, so it's $1.7 million through a TPF contract with NMDOT. Socorro County issued a task order to DEC for Sholey Bridge construction. DEC completed planning and we're waiting on a cultural clearance before it can be contracted for construction. There's no official ETA right now, but it's scheduled to be completed within late May or early June for disbursement in FY25. And then these are our other miscellaneous grants, our junior bills. So there is a narcotics junior bill for $100,000 that our Sheriff's Department is managing. There's a junior bill for $180,000 for vehicles and equipment that our Sheriff's Department is. They're managing the procurement and we manage the paperwork. There is also a $25,000 junior bill that we contracted with Valencia Shelter Services for. And then a $225,000 junior bill for the Law Enforcement Recruitment Fund. And then $4,000 agreement from DPS for stipends paid to our officers. So with that, the Sheriff's Department is spending down the narcotics the vehicle grant. Socorro County drew down on 2 billings from Valencia County Shelter Services. And then Socorro County drew down a third quarter activity with DFA on the LER, the Law Enforcement Recruitment Fund. We didn't have any applicants in the first 2 quarters, so those were 0 quarters. We had 2 applicants in the third quarter, with one of them quitting within that same quarter. So next quarter we'll have again 1 applicant to put towards that funding. And then as far as the DPS, we paid the amount to the employee, but we did have turnover for another one that was awarded that funding that we'll have to repay to DPS. I think it's about $2,000. And that's it.
Are any of these, like the Alamo 3 tanks, we've been working on this for a while. Is there a time frame that this needs to be completed?
So 3 Tanks Road funding is, it expires the end of 2025 with our clearances due the end of 2024. So that's, our clearances are due to NMDOT by June 30th, 2024. And then construction has to be completed by June 30th, 2025. So right now it's just waiting on clearances. The reason that this one took so long is because it was significant. They input the culverts washed out. It's a larger need, a larger project. Manager Hawks did apply for the TPF funding through, I think it's Angela Brielle. And when we received those grants, that's kind of what deferred it, because we needed more money in order to install the proper culverts for that location to reduce the erosion and the washout. So we're hoping to have those clearances done this month. And that's been the indication from Dennis Engineering as well.
Commissioner, what does the school board or the chapter say about this? They're aware of this already, no? Could they help us get the clearances? To push
Well,
on?
I didn't meet with the councilman last month. And he did tell me that it was submitted, and then I followed up with the county, but they haven't received anything yet. So let me reach out again.
Because 2025 is not that far off.
It's not certain. I will have someone in the area from Rural Water tomorrow. So I'm hoping to get that clearance done tomorrow. That's the hope.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
No, sir, the John looks pretty explanatory. Yeah, that one has been on for a long time. It's like pulling teeth over there. The automation.
This front picture, what was that for?
And that was our groundbreaking for our detention center.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of photos from the last few years, so I went back to our old project files.
Thank you for this. This is pretty good.
You're very welcome.
That was just for our review, right? We don't need.
Yes, sir, just so you're up to date on all the grant projects that we have going on, who's assigned to them and where we're at.
Okay. Okay, item O, acknowledge personnel changes.
Take that.
Yes, Commissioner.
Personnel changes, Robert Aragon, Deputy 3, new hire, $23.50 an hour. Elena Pachito, Cadet, new hire, $19.50 an hour. Pete Werner, Corporal, resigned, $21.93 an hour. Maybe that's it.
Need a motion to acknowledge personnel changes?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Secretarial, second by Commissioner Aguilar. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The personnel changes are acknowledged. 5/14/2024. Financial action, item 11. In the past, we have approved both A and B vendor and payroll checks. Have you had a chance to review the vendor and payroll checks, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Well, I need a motion to approve A and B.
I will make a motion to approve item 11, financial action items. A, approval vendor checks for the stated for 5/13/24 in the amount of $463,374.68. And then item B, checks dated for 4/4/24 in the amount of $273,728.44.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Secretarial to approve A and B.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Financial actions for A and B are approved. Item 12, executive statute, section 10-15-1. Only the following matters will be discussed in closed session. Item A, personnel, I, county manager applicants. Item B, pending or threatened litigation. Item C, real property. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Secretarial, second by Commissioner Aguilar. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Aguilar,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair Secretarial,
Yes, ma'am.
and Chair Martinez.
Yes, ma'am. We are now in closed session. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Need a motion to return to regular session.
So,
Motion by, let me read this. And that matters discussed in closed session were limited to those specified in the motion for closure, and that no final action was taken as per New Mexico's statutes, section 10-15-1. Motion by Commissioner Aguilar,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Secretarial. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Aguilar,
yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair Secretary,
Yes, ma'am.
and Chair Martinez.
Yes, ma'am. No action items. The next commission meeting is May 28, 2024 at 5 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn, gentlemen.
So,
Motion by Commissioner Secretarial,
Second.
second by Commissioner Aguilar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Okay, we're adjourned at 7:08. Got a text from Commissioner Doug.